I just want to talk to you about the importance of having really strong parent and student relationships in your classroom. I've worked on this for the past few years I've been teaching, and I feel that I've now understood what it's like to have that personal one-on-one relationship with every student. And it took some time kind of find myself how I want to approach every student, how I want to tell the students about myself and the things I want to share with my students. The very first thing I do is when I get my class list, I call every single parent and I call every single student. I introduce myself and I personally invite them to meet the teacher night. Our district opens the school to parents and students to come in and meet their teacher, to kind of find their classes, get acquainted with the school. And I think that's a very important thing for teachers to call in and to invite them personally. That way we already have that connection, that communication, and parents and students feel more open and more enthusiastic to come into your class. The second thing I do is when they do arrive at Meet the Teacher night, I have 2 questionnaires on the top of the desk. I have one which I filled out, everything about me, the things I want to share with my students, the things I want to share with their parents, and a few pictures about my life. And then I have another questionnaire where the students get to answer questions about themselves and what they like to do in their free time, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, something that I can help them with, and something that they look forward to come into the new school year. And the third thing I do is once school starts, I lay down my expectations right away, and then I take each student one by one and I have lunch with them. I get to know them, I read their questionnaires, and then I discuss it with them. I ask them certain things that I want to know more about them. Then I also tell them that if they have any sport games or anything that they want me to attend, that they can send me a little note or a little calendar, and that way I can see if I can fit it in and attend those games. Kids respond really well to me when I show up at their softball game or their football game and they see me in the bleachers. They're like, oh, that's my teacher. And then the next day they come, they want to learn, they want to please me, they want to be here for me. So I think it's very important to have lunch with the students, to get to know them one by one, and they feel like they're an actual human being in your class, not a part of a huge group. They are individuals. And the very last thing I do is I greet every single kid in the morning with a hug. Some kids don't like hugs, but I always open my arms and I invite them for a hug. Some would say, can I just do a handshake, which is fine. But I make sure that they know that they're welcomed in my classroom, that they are welcomed in my life. I share personal things with my students as well. And I know there's been a debate whether you should just separate 2 things, but kids really want to know what I do outside of school, what I love outside of school, and I found that if I share it with them, they respond better too. So that's it. It's simple as that. Just make sure that the kids know you care for them. You tell them that you're excited to see them every single morning. You greet them one by one by their first name. Hug them, show them that they are cared for, show them that you want them in your class, you want them there every single day. And you will be amazed of how well they behave, how well they perform on assessments, how well they start reading. You'll just be amazed of how much of an impact building those relationships in the beginning of the school year will have for the rest of the school year.